Imagine not having heat in the dead of winter or air conditioning on the hottest days. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jacqueline London. That's what people living in one South Philadelphia apartment building have been dealing with for over a year. NBC 10 first reported on the faulty HVAC system in January of last year. At the time, the landlord told us they would have the problem fixed in a week. Now, 14 months later, tenants tell NBC 10 they are still having problems. Johnny Archer is live in Point Breeze with answers for Philadelphia tenants if they find themselves in bad living conditions. Johnny.
Yeah, and they do have answers for sure, Jacqueline, but we spoke to one tenant who says she and her fiance have been dealing with this problem for several months now. She says her fiance and herself are just some of several dozen people impacted by this issue who live here at the Smith School Apartments, and things got so bad over the winter. She says they had to move in with her fiance's parents temporarily because their apartment was just too cold.
It was horrible for everyone this winter, honestly.
That's how Emily Wright describes the situation at the Smith School Apartments in South Philadelphia. She says pretty much ever since she's moved in last August, she's had issues with her HVAC system.
We stopped getting any AC around September. We started putting in complaints saying like, hey, it's not working. Were like, okay, we'll come fix it, we'll come fix it. By the time it was like, oh, if is it working or not, it was definitely getting too cold and for heat, and then we were just left with zero heat all winter.
NBC 10 reporting on the same issue at the same apartment building sitting at 19th and Wharton back in January of 2025.
My girlfriend and I were visiting our parents for the holidays, and then we came back and we were like, it's 45 degrees in our apartment.
According to Philadelphia licenses and inspections, there have been 14 heating violations dating back to 2022, on top of a host of additional mechanical and structural issues at the apartment building.
I think in some ways it's to be expected. Philadelphia has a lot of older housing.
Raquan King is director of advocacy at the Tenant Union Representative Network. Their nonprofit organization helps people in Philadelphia, and he says tenants have rights.
Generally speaking, when it comes to repair issues or the landlord not doing something, tenants have four main rights. So it's the right to repair and deduct, it is the right to withhold rent, it is the right to sue the landlord to recover rent, and then it is the right to terminate the lease early and move out.
We spoke to OCF Realty owner Ori Feibush by phone, who owns the Smith School Apartments. He says about 20 out of the 77 apartments have been impacted by a faulty HVAC unit. He says it's a problem engineers and the manufacturer have tried to fix, but keeps breaking. Feibush says he's offered rental credit and impacted tenants the ability to break their lease without penalty.
I will say it's been very tolling on our mental health this winter.
Yeah, certainly a tough situation, and there are several resources for people in Philadelphia living in questionable rental situations. First, they can speak to the organization we talked to. That is the Tenant Union Representative Network. There's also the City of Philadelphia Fair Housing Commission and also the court system. Now, advocacy groups recommend people highly that they document everything, including when an issue happens, taking pictures of it, and those conversations had with property management. We're live in South Philadelphia. Johnny Archer, NBC 10 News.